Hey 8th graders, today's lesson is 1.4 light waves. Your learning targets today: I can describe how sunlight damages genetic material in skin cells, and I can use data from maps to determine if Australia's skin cancer rates are so high due to the amount of sunlight they get. So one thing that we talked about in our last lesson was whether or not light is energy. And you guys know that energy is anything that can cause a change in some kind of matter. So one of the labs you guys did was just looking at different objects, adding light to it in the form of a flashlight, and seeing if there was any change to kind of show us whether or not light was actually energy. And you found out that yes, it was. Okay, so we know that light can cause changes to things because it is a form of energy. So today you're going to kind of be looking at skin cancer, and that's going to be your guys' focus of today's lesson, is looking at skin cancer across the world and looking at rates of skin cancer. And then kind of taking a look at how light in general can affect skin cancer or even change your genetic material to cause skin cancer. Okay, so your warm up for today, you guys had a little sim. You guys needed to open the sim link. You guys are going to go and look at genetic material. Okay, so there's our, oops, sorry, wrong thing. We're going to look at genetic material right here. Okay, and then you guys are going to use sun as your energy source. You're going to turn it on. Okay. And then you guys, after you do that, we'll hit inspect, and we're also going to do show energy, and then we're going to see how that changes. So if I move this here and hit show energy, okay, if you guys hit inspect, it'll show you guys how that genetic material is affected or changed by the sun, or whether or not it even is. Okay, so once you guys examine that, you're going to answer these two questions for your warm-up. What change to genetic material did you observe? And how is it possible for light to change genetic material? Include evidence from the sim in your answer, and use the vocabulary terms light, energy, and absorb. So make sure you guys are using those three terms in your guys' answer. Okay, go ahead, take a second, pause this video, and make sure your guys' warm-up is complete. When you guys are done, make sure your computer's turned around. All right, so moving on to activity 2 is also a sim activity. Okay, in this one you guys have a specific mission, and your mission is to find all the different types of changes that can be caused by light from a light bulb. So we just looked at light from the sun. This is going to be a little bit differently because you guys are going to look at light from a light bulb. So I'm going to go ahead, reset my sim, and for this one we'll choose light bulb. Okay, so open simple mode, change the light source to light bulb and turn it on. Okay, drag a material to the platform in the testing area. Press inspect to see if light from the light bulb changes the material and what type of changes it causes. So really you guys are looking at all the different ways you can change material using only a light bulb. Okay, note the type of change below. So what you guys will do is you'll test your one material and then circle it if you guys see that change. So you might see damage, increased electrical energy, increased kinetic energy, photosynthesis, or warmth. Okay, if you guys notice that in that material, circle it. Okay, then what you guys will do is you'll go back and repeat steps 2 through 4 where you guys will grab a different material. So maybe you start with the plant, then you guys will do the same thing for the solar panel. Again, once you guys see if there's any changes from the light bulb, you guys will go make sure they're circled. Okay, then you guys will test the glass, the aluminum, the melanin, and the genetic material. Okay, so test all 6 of those and circle any changes you guys see on slide 5. Okay, and then answer this question here. What must happen for light to change a material? So really focus on, if you guys go to this show energy or show light waves, focus on what that energy is doing, okay, and how it's interacting with those materials, okay? Focus on the ones that don't change and the ones that do change, and how does the light or the energy look different on those, okay? So go ahead, take a second, pause this video, and go ahead and complete through slide 6. And when you come back, we'll do activity 3 modeling. Okay, so this is activity 3 modeling. Okay, showing the cause of skin cancer. The Australian Health Alliance is counting on you to help people understand how skin cancer occurs. Use the modeling tool, the cause of skin cancer student sheet, to show your thinking. Follow the steps below. When you are finished, add a written explanation of how light from the sun can cause skin cancer. So this modeling tool is going to be on the next slide, and I'll show you guys that here in a second. Your goal is to show how light from the sun can cause skin cancer. So we're specifically looking at light from the sun, no other light source. Okay, so your instructions are to choose a source from the word bank and add it to the model. So if I look at my next slide, here's my modeling tool. If you look at the word bank over on the right hand side, we have 2 sources. So you guys are going to choose the correct source. You guys can click and drag these words, okay, and you guys are going to drag that into the source box. So which source are we using? okay? Then you're going to choose a change from the word bank and add it to the model. Remember that we're focusing on how light from the sun can cause skin cancer. So you guys are going to look at the change. So you guys just did this in the sim, so you guys should know kind of what changes occur to genetic material when the sun hits it. So out of these changes, there's 5 of them. Choose the one that fits best into this box here. Drag it there. Okay, use a yellow highlighter to trace the path of energy. So go up to your draw tool, grab your yellow highlighter, and you guys will basically draw some arrows to show which direction energy is going, okay, and what that looks like. And then finally, annotate your motto to explain your ideas. If you guys need to, write some notes to kind of explain where you're going with all of this. Okay, and then once you guys are done with that, you'll go ahead and answer this question. How can light from the sun cause skin cancer? So this kind of applies directly to your annotation, what you guys just did in that model. Put it all together into a sentence and explain to me how light from the sun can cause skin cancer. Okay, once you guys are done with that, go ahead, pause this video, finish up activity 3 modeling, and then we'll move on to activity 4. All right, so activity 4 is a little discussion. So basically you guys are going to be taking a look at the world sunlight map, and you guys are going to be examining 3 claims throughout this unit, but for today, we're going to focus in on just claim 1. Claim 1 is that Australia gets a lot of sunlight, and that's why Australia's skin cancer rate is so high. So what you guys see is the world sunlight map. You guys can see how many total hours of bright sunlight per year on average occur around the world, okay? And you're going to think again about this claim. Australia gets a lot of sunlight. Okay, so if we look at this, if claim 1 is accurate, I would expect Brazil to have a cancer rate that is blank than Australia's. So you guys are going to use a color in your draw tool that I can see, and you're going to circle either higher than, lower than, or the same as. So you guys will look, Brazil is right over here. Okay, so you guys will check that. Okay, and then answer this question, why? Record your thinking below. So you guys are obviously going to use evidence from your map. Use all the words in your explanation, absorb energy and light. Okay, then you guys will take a look at your map again, and we're going to look at Egypt. So Egypt is going to be right up in here. Oops, grab that for you guys. I'm going to change your map so that one says Egypt. So we're looking at that area there. So if claim 1 is accurate, okay, remember that claim 1 is focusing on the amount of sunlight that Australia is getting. So based on that map, how would Egypt compare to that? So do you think Egypt would be higher, lower, or the same as far as their skin cancer rate? Okay, and then again, why? And then finally, you guys are going to look at Japan. So Japan is going to be over here. Okay. Again, you're looking at how that compares. So again, if claim 1 is correct, remember that claim 1 is that Australia gets a lot of sunlight. That's why their cancer rate is so high. Okay, so how do you guys think Japan would compare? Would it be higher than, lower than, or the same as? And again, record your explanations as to why you chose that. Okay, moving on, you guys are going to be comparing these. This is the world sunlight map, and then this is the skin cancer map that we've seen before. Remember that Australia was really high. Over 220 out of 100,000 people have had some parts of skin cancer, some symptoms of have dealt with skin cancer in some way. Okay. So you guys will take a look at those 2 maps and then see if they kind of compare and if they support claim 1. Okay, so why is Australia's skin cancer rate so high? Claim 1 says that Australia gets a lot of sunlight. Okay, it does get a lot of sunlight, but would you say it gets more sunlight than anywhere else? Please get out. Okay, so you guys are going to think about that and answer these 3 questions. What does the world sunlight map tell you about how much sunlight Australia gets compared to Brazil? So again, you're working at the world sunlight map. Okay, so Brazil is over here. Okay, and comparing how much sunlight it gets compared to its cancer rate. So look at its skin cancer rates. Okay, what does the world skin cancer map tell you about how the skin cancer rates of Australia and Brazil different? So if we look at the world skin cancer, how are they different? Who has more symptoms of skin cancer? And then finally, what ideas do you have about how the 2 places could have the same amount of sunlight but different skin cancer rates? So how can you explain this? Obviously, kind of seeing that claim 1 isn't correct. Okay, based on those 2 maps. So what could be some explanation as to Australia? Why is Australia so high compared to other places that get similar amounts of sunlight? Okay, once you guys are done, do your wrap up. And then make sure everything saves. And then go ahead and hand it in. I hope you guys are having a great day.